Hello, Todd Long, myrealestateagentcoach.com. Thanks for joining me today. We're actually here with Anika Jones, who is a new construction rep for a home builder here in the Charlotte area. She's been in new construction sales for 14 years now, right?
14 years.
What else should we know about you?
Well, just a little bit of background.
Okay.
I am actually from the DC metropolitan area.
Oh, okay.
I relocated here with my family and my 3 sons, 2 of which are in college now. One's a senior, one is a junior.
Wow.
And I have 1 high schooler, junior as well. I have worked in new home sales almost all of their lives.
Wow. Yeah.
That's
all
crazy.
they've ever heard is new home sales.
All they've ever heard. Poor things. They probably never want to walk in a new home again. But needless to say, I've also worked for an array of different builders within that time frame. When I say an array of builders, I'm talking about production builders versus semi-custom builders.
Okay.
So production builders would be more or less builders that already have a plan, and you kind of have to stick to that plan because that's their specialty. Every builder has their niche. Right. Semi-custom, not production. Semi-custom is more or less allows you to do some personalizations and some customizations to tweak it to fit the lifestyle of you and your family.
Right, and that's more where you are now.
That's where I am currently,
Good.
yes.
Excellent.
But I've done both.
Good. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to bring Anika on board for this video is you have such a wide array of experience in new construction. So let's get started.
Let's do so.
So if an agent is sitting with their client and they're talking through their options for buying a home, and they mention that, well, new construction would be an option that we would like to explore, how do you suggest that that agent introduce the client to new construction?
My recommendation would be, it's a different answer because you can kind of go one of 2 ways with this, okay? So my recommendation, if you've been proactive and you've already introduced yourself to the on-site, you're already familiar, you've kind of done your homework up front, which is strongly recommended because you're going to feel more confident that way, and you're going to be able to display more confidence to your client that way. I would definitely just take that with a grain of salt. You already know, and I would say, hey, we're going to look at existing homes like you've described. I know that this location is important to you. I know that these features are important to you. I'm going to reach out to Anika Jones. I'm going to reach out to Jimmy Jane, and I'm going to reach out to Todd Ramsey. I just picked it.
There you go.
And I'm going to let them know what you're looking for, and we'll develop a list of what's going to be relevant and who can kind of meet your needs. Perfect. And then, check for acceptance. How does that sound? However, a lot of the realtors plan to do that, but they just don't have the time.
They never go out and preview.
They never go out and preview. They haven't had a chance to establish a relationship, meet the reps, and that's okay. That's okay. But if you do it that way, you're going to have to make sure that you have a very strong relationship with your buyer if you haven't met or talked to the reps yet. And the reason I say that is because when they come on site, there's going to be a registration. They're going to fill it out. The builder's going to ask, are you working with a realtor? Right. Builder's not trying to hide that. They're not trying to deny you of working with your client. Anika Jones doesn't get more money if the customer doesn't have a realtor. The process is easier if the customer has a realtor. I want to partner with you. But if your customer comes in and it says, are you working with a realtor? And they say no, and they don't put a name, and the registration is sent in, you're no longer the procuring cause. You're not going to get paid on the deal.
And procuring cause is
procuring cause is the reason why that buyer came to see us. And how awful would that be for you to have told the buyer about us?
Go drive through these neighborhoods.
You sent them out because you want them to drill down to make sure, you want to be considerate of it, make sure that the areas work for them. They get excited and they see all these signs and they're like, wow, a model home. Let's go in. It smells good. It looks good. And next thing you know, they've done the registration and somehow they forgot. Maybe they didn't even think they could have a realtor in a new home transaction.
So important for you to educate the buyer's agent to educate the client and say, they're going to pay my fee just like a resale would. And I'm here to protect you. So I
would still be confident, though, even if you're not confident, you got to fake it till you can make it. So I would still say, hey, why don't we do this? I'm going to actually set aside some time. We're going to go take a look at a couple of neighborhoods and builders. I'm going to get some specific plans that work so we can preview them ahead of time. And make sure you get some undivided attention so we can explore existing homes as well as new homes per your request. Then I'd get on the phone, follow up by an email, and I would talk to the on-site. Hey, this is what my customer is looking for. Please tell me, what are your viable solutions that you offer in the marketplace.
Right. Good. So talking about driving around to the different neighborhoods, if I'm going to go out with a client and we're going to drive through some neighborhoods and get to know the inventory, how long would you like to have with me and my client just to figure out if True Homes is a fit?
I would recommend, I mean, it could go anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour depending on your client and on you. So one of the things that helps me is if I know up front, hey Anika, I'm bringing my client through, we have 5 other appointments we have to get to, then that tells me, okay,
I've allotted 30 minutes for us to be there.
Yes, and then even if it's 15, then I already know that I'll expedite my process, because we do have a process. We're just not going to be pushing. How are we going to prescribe a medication if we don't know any symptoms? So we're going to want to know what is most important to you in an area, in a neighborhood. We have over 70 neighborhoods, and we can build on a customer's own lot. We have solutions everywhere. So I can gain a clear and concise understanding about what that client is looking for. What's important in the house: master up, master down, ranch, basement, 3rd level. You want a supersized, oversized garage. You don't want any lawn maintenance. You want an acre lot. Those are areas where I can easily zone down and offer solutions pretty quickly if I know what we're looking at. So I'll gauge my presentation to kind of fit what works in your schedule.
Good. I think it's important to remember that when you're asking all these questions, you're not doing this to pry.
No.
You're doing this to try to figure out what solutions you have that will fit their needs.
Absolutely. And I'm so glad that you brought that up, because a lot of times when I ask, you know, is there a particular price range or budget that you want to expect?
Seems like you're prying.
It seems like I'm prying. Or is there a monthly payment that you want to stay within? It seems like I'm prying, but I'm not. We offer from $100,000 homes all the way up to $1 million homes and everything in between. And if I can just get an idea, then I can try to help keep your client in their budget.
Narrow down the budget.
Yes, and I have been told that, Anika, I know I said 400, but we've extended our budget to 415. But you said 400, remember, because you have X, Y. Anika, okay. Sign here that you extended your budget, not me. I am not gonna. I'm not gonna push you. My goal is to deliver on what you have spoken out to me.
Right. Great. So let's talk about the process a little bit.
Yes.
What can they expect from? They've signed a contract, they're ready to start their new construction, the ground hasn't even been broken. How long does that take? And how much customization? I know you know a lot of different builders and how they work. Talk us through that process a little bit.
Okay, so if you're working with a production builder, which we talked about earlier, is a builder that already has pre-planned plans, and they're very limited on what they're willing to do with them.
They might have 5 plans.
They might have 5 plans.
That's what you're going to work with.
And you can pick 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. You may have a couple of little things that you can change, like if you want a garden tub and a shower, or a bonus room added to a ranch. But if you come up with an idea of your own, chances are you're not going to be able to do that. But that's the drawback. The benefit is generally they can get you in between 3 and 6 months time frame, depending on the builder. Okay, absolutely. Every builder has their little niche. Now, if you're working with a semi-custom builder, I always tell the customer what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. Even if they say, I need to be in as quickly as possible, I realize that we're a semi-custom builder. We're going to design your home to meet not just the needs of you, but also of your family. You're going to have a house that looks different. It's not going to be cookie-cutter neighborhood. It's not going to have a cookie-cutter feel on the inside. Therefore, it's like going to a tailor. If you're going to get something custom-made versus going through, you know, a big store, it's going to cost you a little bit more. Typically, we don't cost you more, but it's going to take a little bit longer. So you're looking at about 7 months, 6 to 7 month time frame, not a year, 6 to 7 month time frame for that.
Very good. And what kind of customization can be done in that particular case?
It's probably going to vary per builder, but some examples here with True Homes would be if, let's just say this has a 4-foot extension on it right here. Can you see kind of where it extends? If they wanted to do a 6-foot, because they said this is really nice and cozy, but I have super big fat furniture and I need, you know, larger space. Then what I would do is I would put what's called a request for price in, and to our corporate office to find out how much would that additional 2 foot of space actually, you know, cost the client.
So they'll know up front, of course.
So they know up front. In addition, If they want a garage, they want a 2-car, but they want a 2-car. They want to be able to fit their 2 cars in there.
Not
a 1.5. Yeah, and you want space for storage, right? Well, that's reasonable. We're happy to add a bump out on there. We'll have to do a request for price to kind of determine how much that bump out's going to cost. But if they want pocket doors, if on the outside of the house they're like, I love it, but I really envision my dream house having a little bit more stone, no problem. Let me put a request for price in for you, customer. So things like that, things that kind of make it your own.
Yeah, perfect. So we get through the build process. How much do you suggest the agent be involved during the build process? Like, coming out to the house to check on it? I mean, how much do you suggest they be involved?
Rule of thumb is whenever the customer comes out for a meeting, not when they come out to just peruse their home, but whenever they come out for a meeting.
Meet the contractor or at the design center. Or
it's not mandatory, though. Please understand it's not mandatory, but it's recommended for a smoother process. Because if they come to their agent and say, hey, I thought this, and that, and another thing, and then the agent can say, oh yeah, you're absolutely right, or you know what, remember when we met with Anika, and that came up, and she said this. Oh yeah, you're absolutely right, I totally forgot about that. So they kind of have their advocate, their attorney, someone that's there for them, that they trust, that can kind of help them and maneuver them and advocate through the entire process.
Perfect. So we get through the build process. We're at the final couple of days going into closing. Very exciting time. And we have something in new construction, the final walkthrough. We have the same thing in resale.
Yes.
How does that work for new construction?
So I like to call it a home orientation.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that is because a lot of people, when they think of a final walkthrough, they think of, let me pick it apart. Let me put blue tape everywhere where I see an imperfection and go crazy and get on my knees and have a magnifying glass. That's not really the purpose of the meeting. The purpose of the meeting is to acclimate the customer to the home. Tell them about the warranties, revisit it because it's been a while since they've realized, since they've heard, hey, you have a 1, 2, 10 warranty. 1 year covers everything. 2 years is your heating, your air conditioning, your plumbing, your mechanicals, and 10 years your structural warranty. By the way, remember you have a 30-year architectural shingle warranty and your other manufacturer's warranties. Important phone numbers, your plumber's number, things that you might need access to. Where is that, information? Also, you are going to get a walkthrough where you can kind of determine, wow, this is an imperfection. These are areas that I would like spruced up or touched up prior to moving in. It's totally normal to have them. A house has a lot of moving pieces. For it to be 100% to a customer's liking when they go through the walkthrough is extremely rare. In fact, I've never seen it with any of the builders I've worked with. So expectations for your customer is going to be important, important for them. Okay, but we're happy to make it right prior to closing.
And I wanted to mention too, you do have that 1 year bumper to bumper. So in my experience, if there's some minor things that need to be fixed, in my experience with most of the builders that I've worked with, it's not so important that we stop closing for those things, because I've got a 1 year period that they're going to come back and fix things that might have a problem in it.
And not even just the 1 year. Like, there's certain things that we don't like to do it. I don't think any builders like to do it. We prefer for you to close with 100% of everything taken care of, because that translates to a memorable experience, a positive. You'll enthusiastically refer your realtor, and you'll enthusiastically refer me too. So we really prefer to, but things happen, and sometimes everything can't be done in time. So there might be a list of things that are promised by, not within a year, but let's say within 2 weeks of closing. So yes, you can go ahead and proceed on with your closing with the peace of mind knowing that you have something in writing that you're going to be taking care of afterwards.
Perfect. So the last thing I want to talk about, and then we'll see what you have that I forgot, is the paperwork.
Yes.
As a real estate agent, you always need to have your buyer's agency. You're working with real estate agents. There's going to be some paperwork for your office that you'll have to have normally. But with new construction, typically, we use the builder's contract.
Yes.
So talk to us about the builder's contract a little bit. Is there...
If you have someone that ends up wanting to buy new, they see the value that we offer compared to what's in the marketplace. They're bought into the energy efficiency component, the warranty component, the customization component. You should be jumping for joy. Your job just got easier. Just got easier. easier because we do all the work.
Right.
You get a copy of it. Once it's ratified, it's emailed out to you. We take care of it. Working with real estate, you still are going to absolutely do. In fact, we do that too to let your client know that you work with them, that we advocate for them, but we work for the builder, and we get paid by the builder because sometimes there's a little disconnect or they misunderstand. Yeah.
Now, that's important to remember that you are a real estate agent. You're a realtor. Not all builders use real estate agents.
That's
right?
correct.
What percentage would you say are using real estate agents in their in-house reps?
I have no grounds for this amount I'm about to throw out there, so don't hold me against it, or don't hold it against me.
Right.
I would say about 80% do use realtors.
But there's 20% that aren't.
Yes, there is 20%.
So it's probably important to maybe ask that question if you're meeting one-on-one just to get to know the builder. Or that
just to have an understanding, just because they're not going to be held to the same level.
Right.
Not anything against the builder.
Right. Not that they're going to try to do things wrong.
No, not that they're going to try to do things wrong. Not at all.
Exactly.
But if something should arise or happen, you have a lot less recourse.
Right.
You know, and I just think it's a mutual respect thing as well, in my opinion, because I can have a conversation with a realtor and I can understand, you know, what they've been through. I know a little bit more about the risk involved in being a realtor. It's just a respect, just more of a mutual respect. I've been there too.
That's a great point.
You have 3 kids. I have 3 kids too. You just naturally feel better.
One thing I did want to mention in our pre-interview, we were talking a little bit about the new construction versus resale and some of the energy efficiencies in the budget and keeping the whole entire budget in mind.
Please.
So talk about that a little bit, because I thought you had some great insight on that.
Thank you. All right, so here's the deal. You have a client that comes in and they say, I want to be at $200,000. I don't want to see anything over $200,000. Really, I want to be at $180,000, but I'll go up to $200,000.
And that's a fair.
Right,
fair.
That's
where they feel
reasonable stretch. You happen to see something that's $210,000. It's new construction. They specifically said that they don't want to go over $200,000. You really want to show them the $210,000.
Right.
I think it's important.
And typically builders aren't going to negotiate a bunch off that price either.
Right.
So you're not going to get them to $180,000.
That's absolutely correct.
It's going to be $210,000.
Right.
Go ahead.
So here's the deal. My recommendation would be, yes, to put the $210,000 on the tour. But I would position it with your client, because you don't want to come across as disrespectful. You're not listening. You're on your own agenda. You want to steer them. You want to make money, commission on $210,000, because some clients think that way. What's in it for you? But you'll want to explain to them, Mr. Customer, I know where you want your budget to be, and I totally respect that. The reason why I'm thinking that we should consider this option that's $210,000 is because it's new. It's going to be built more to code. It's going to be more energy efficient. So, for instance, with us, instead of a 13 SEER HVAC, we include a 14 SEER. That translates into more money in the customer's pocket on a monthly basis.
Probably 10 or 12 SEER even.
Absolutely, depending on when they were built and what was required at that time. For instance, we use Anderson Silverline Low E windows. Energy efficient. Once again, it's going to translate to less money. A new home, it's going to give you 40% savings compared to existing or used homes.
So if they're talking their monthly budget for their mortgage payment, it's not just the mortgage payment, it's their monthly budget for everything they have to pay for on a monthly basis.
Yeah, because it's going to come out that same pot anyway. So here's the deal right there. If you're looking at $10,000 more, about $70 more a month.
Right.
If you buy new with the 40% savings, you're going to save more than $70 a month. Your budget on a monthly basis, you're still within it. You're actually better off. And you don't have to worry about if something happens with the roof, $10,000, check. If something happens with the HVAC, oh my God, that's $5,000. Because you have your warranties in place, so you have peace of mind. So those are some of the strong benefits for offering your clients new. Is it okay if I add something to that? Okay. So the reason I'm adding something to this, because I often get realtors that say, oh my gosh, Anika, I want to do business with you. I'm trying. Nobody wants to see new. And, you know, I let it go sometimes. Sometimes I don't. But what I would love to see happen, because I think your client would really appreciate it. I would appreciate it too, but your client is
it's important.
That's where your fiduciary duty is. You don't have any fiduciary duty to me. But it's kind of just educating your client, letting them know what's out there. I know that you only want to see resale because you want mature trees and you want to be in a neighborhood that's already existing and that's already built out because you're worried about builders pulling out. Whatever your case is, whatever the reason. I would let them know, I have 5 that I'm going to show you, and they're going to fit your needs. I have a 6th one, but it's new. And I know that you said you don't want new, but if I'm able to show you a solution that meets 100% of what you're looking for, in fact, it costs less, and you're going to get more space in it compared to what's in the market. Would you want to consider at least looking in it to rule it in or rule it out?
Right. That way we've looked at the entire market.
And you're an expert.
Yeah.
They respect you now.
Yeah.
They are like, wow, this is something they brought to the table. I didn't have to bring my agenda to them. They actually listened to me and offered me something that I wasn't willing to consider.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah. So what did I miss? What else do we need to talk about new construction?
Well, I think we talked about how long it takes if you're going to build and what things that you can do to your home, but we didn't talk about on an inventory or a spec home or a showcase home.
Great,
so I just wanted to maybe chat about that just for a minute. If it's a home that is a spec or an inventory, that doesn't mean that it's physically done. I was just going to say, but it doesn't mean that it's done.
It doesn't mean
not in all instances. Sometimes it's a house that we've already pre-planned for everything to go in, and it's done and it's ready to move in. Sometimes we've already pre-planned for it. It's already in framing, and somebody comes by and they say, we want it. 3 months, it's going to be done in 3 months. That's perfect timing for us. We're going to sign. We have a closing in 30 days on our house, and we want this house. A lot of misconception is that, oh, wow, it's only in framing. We can change
everything.
We can change the world. Exactly. We can change everything in it. And that's not the case, because what they're not seeing is behind the scenes. Everything has been already ordered for that specific home. And to stop it is like standing in front of a train. It's very hard.
And very costly.
And very costly. So expectations are very, 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 very important as it relates to an inventory that's in the framing, because the customer, if you tell the customer, oh, it's only in framing, you could probably change your cabinets, and then they get excited, and then they hear, well, actually, with where we are in construction, blah, 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 they're disappointed, and it kind of is a little bump in the road that didn't have to be a bump in the road.
That's a great point. Once it's out of the ground, and it's got a roof on it, you're not going to probably change a whole lot.
Probably not going to, even if it's been permitted, because it's already been permitted. That's probably taken 4 to 6 weeks to do.
And it's been permitted based on everything that's spec'd out.
That's spec'd out. Now, if there's some design changes, it might be a little bit easier. Might be. But expectation, under promise, over deliver.
Every builder's different.
Create less bumps in the road. Don't promise them a perfect experience. You just promise them good communication and that you're going to be there to help them through the process.
That's a great point. Glad you remembered to talk about that.
Thank you.
Anything else you can think of in this?
Let me see. I'm sure that I will think about it when I'm at home in bed. Oh my gosh, I forgot to share this. But we'll have to have a part 2 if that's the case.
Right. Here's what I suggest. I want to thank Anika first for doing this. I really appreciate it. But in the comment section below on this video, if you have any further questions, definitely put them there, and I'll reach out to Anika and we'll get some answers on that.
Yes, absolutely.
But thank you so much for doing this for me today. I think this is going to help a lot of agents that are really thinking new construction might be a way they want to go with their client, but they really don't know where to get started. So
and feel free to reach out to me or any of your local builders. For me, I can cross-sell in any of our 70 areas. So once we have a relationship, we're like this, I got you covered. All over Charlotte.
Do you want to give some contact information?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much. My cell number is 704-680-2194, 704-680-2194, and my email address is ajones@truehomesusa.com. That's ajones@truehomesusa.com. I generally have Tuesday and Wednesday off, if you would call it really being off, but I also have a partner I work here with, and her name is Robin. I can make sure I get you her information too, so that we give you service 7 days a week.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Todd. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye-bye.